of Three Crones in the Woo Woo. I am your hostess of three, Gayle Nicholson. I'm a resilience coach, metaphysical practitioner, and miracle making queen all the way around. To my side, I have Krista Ducharme, intuitive healer, teacher, life coach with Dimensional Healing with Krista on Facebook. And also with us today is Joanne Angel Barry Colon, certified personal trainer, intuitive healer, and cosmic energy reader with Wholistic Fitness New York. Hello, ladies. How's it going on this week? How y'all doing?
Hello.
Who's going to start?
Joanne.
Joanne.
Let Joanne start. She's already talking.
Yeah, yes, I'm always talking. It's like running the mouth. What do they say? What's that expression? Diarrhea of the mouth?
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry.
That or vomiting your opinion.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. Yes. So, this has been a interesting week, I'd say, since we've had to change the clocks. I don't know if it has anything to do with the changing of the clocks or not, or the fact that Chiron's in Aries, or the fact that I'm working on this new book. I don't know what the hell it is. Maybe a combination of all three, but I've just not been sleeping really well. And by the time the alarm clock rings in the morning, I'm like, oh really? Is it really time to get up? I feel like I just fell asleep. So that's been my week, and it's only Tuesday. So
Wow.
It's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
My God. I don't know. Anyway, but it's all good. I feel good. I feel energized, even though I'm not sleeping really well. So it's all good.
Yeah. Do you guys get those downloads? You know, like where you
Sometimes.
wake up at like 2:30 and you're just like suddenly like, I wish I could be that awake after 2 cups of coffee, you know, and
Yeah.
then you're up for a couple of hours and then you start to fade again.
Mhm.
Oh no. When I get woken up with downloads, I feel like I've literally had, and this is gonna sound really funny, I feel like I really had like a night out where I was drinking. I wake up drunk. When I get downloads like that, I wake up drunk. I'm like, oh my God. Can you go back to bed? Can you download this and let me go back to sleep, please? Much better with another 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Right. I tend to get them the way I described it. It seems like Krista does too. But you
Yeah,
are
a little
special unicorn, Joanne. I mean, you're so fitness oriented. You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't even get angry at people. I mean, you're just a freak, okay? It's a good freak, but you're a freak.
I'm not getting angry at people. I mean, I do get angry. I don't allow it to surface to the point where it interferes with my energy.
That's a special
Yeah.
skill that you have to develop over years, doesn't it? Isn't it? Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, I don't think I've ever really, even as a kid, have ever really gotten angry to the point where like as Krista, I think it was Krista who said, an angry child having a tantrum and throwing their toys. I don't think I've ever gotten to that point where like I was that angry and just do my stuff and whatever. Although, funny story, there was one time, I don't know if it was anger that showed up, but without sharing too much of the story, although it's the juicy part, but I'm gonna eliminate the juicy part.
Damn.
My ex-fiance, I had gone to his house on Christmas Day to drop off some stuff for him and his kids. We were not together anymore, so to speak. And I walked in on him with his new girlfriend. And he was just being a quote unquote pain in my behind, to the point where I literally, and I never, ever, ever, ever hit people. I slapped him right in the face.
Wow.
You may have deserved it.
Boom. And he just looked at me and he's like, and the girl that was in the room there with him, she like started walking towards my way, and I turned at her and I said, I would just stay right where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And she just froze in place, didn't move until I left.
Wow. Yeah, see that's it. If she lets the beast out, she's gonna kill a city.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I do have moments, but you have to really, really, really get me to that point where it's like, it's almost like an out of body experience, because after I actually slapped him and I left his house, I called up one of my girlfriends. I was hysterical laughing. She goes, "What is so funny?" I said, "I just slapped the heck out of so and so." She goes, "You did what?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What did he do?" Because he had to do something if you slapped him.
Right,
I
right.
was like, "Yeah, he just got under my skin." I say he got
Yeah.
under my skin, and it was time to slap him in the face. But then the rest of the day, as I was supposed to go to my sister's for Christmas Day, I got there. I spent maybe 15 minutes there. I whispered to my mother, as you know, she was still alive at the time. I said, "Mom, I have to go home because I don't feel so well." I went
Mm.
home and I went to bed, and I spent the rest of the day in bed, because I guess after slapping him, the energy that I had within my system was just so low that I just couldn't be around people.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I was just like, but all I kept doing all day long was laughing. I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe I slapped him." And then when I saw him, because he had the nerve to show up, at my job on New Year's Eve day, and when he came to see me, he says, "Well, can you put your hands in your pocket?" And I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Because just in case you get a desire to want to slap me again." I was like, "Oh." I said, "Why? Are you going to give me a reason to want to slap you again?" Because, wow, I'll be really excited if I get that choice to do it again.
That's awesome. Jill
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Krista, how's your week been? For some reason, I just feel like you've had a rough couple of last days. How's things going over there?
It's been an interesting few days. So Genevieve had her wisdom teeth removed on Thursday. Those who know us intimately know this. And she's been recovering from that. And it's so when you have a kid that's in recovery, whether it's a grown-up one or a little one, it doesn't matter. You're still on call, right? So
Right?
Joanne's talking about not getting sleep because, the energy of everything. Well, I haven't been getting sleep because I get, Mom, I need my medicine.
Aw.
Aw.
Thankfully, that only was a couple of nights. But last night, I don't know exactly what happened. I've been sleeping with my Fitbit on, which I haven't. I usually take everything off because my face glows and I can't make it not glow. So every time I roll over, it glows, right? And it's like this, hello kind of glow, not, like what subtle glow. No, it's like in your face. And so I have been not sleeping with it, but Kevin and I are trying to monitor our sleep. We're trying to understand what our sleep patterns are for him because he has sleep apnea. And so he wants to know how his sleep apnea is affecting my sleep. And so I haven't looked at, he keeps asking me, "So did you look at last night's yet? Did you look at last night?" Because I woke up, and I don't know, maybe you guys have had this happen. I actually woke up with a headache, and headaches are not something that come in and out of my life often.
Hmm.
I don't get them too often. So when I do, I kind of pay attention, and it just built up. Have you ever had one of those headaches where it starts and, well, I woke up with it and then it builds up through the day? And I know it was a sinus headache because as soon as it started to rain, I found out, I discovered the more it rained, the better my head felt. I was like, oh, this is definitely a sinus pressure kind of headache. But yeah, it was one of those crazy days. So I was telling Gayle earlier, I was like, if this headache hadn't gone away, I wasn't sure I was going to be functional because it just kept getting bigger, 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 bigger. And we just had really strange weather. So those of you who live in the south, maybe the southwest part of the US, I don't know. There's parts of the US that are used to hailstorms. I experienced my first thunder hailstorm in my life ever over the weekend. And
Nice.
the thunder hail came down the size of bigger than peas, smaller than golf balls. So I couldn't quite, yeah. They were about the size of a dime.
Or
Maybe that's it.
do you ever play marbles? The
Marbles,
big marble,
yeah.
the big one, like the
No,
Crusher
not
or
the
whatever.
big, maybe not, no, not the big marble, but a regular size
A
marble.
regular size marble?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
which for me was,
That's still pretty darn big. The
that's
size,
pretty big.
mothball, the size of a mothball, basically.
Yeah, about the size of a mothball. Yeah, that's a good size.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was we had that, and it's just been very exciting. I was just as I was putting my makeup on.
And
Kevin's
Krista,
listening.
just out
Yeah.
of curiosity, based on the headache, and you may not know the answer to this, you might have to go look it up. See if you have Aries in either Mars energy or Mars, Moon, or Pisces. Mars, Moon, or
I know Mars is not my moon. Libra is my moon.
but that's the opposition.
Okay, I'll look. I'll give it a look. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, the opposition of Libra is Aries energy, and Aries energy is associated with the head. And yesterday we were actually the last what was it? Monday and Sunday we were actually in Aries energy with the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So in combination of the weather and also that moon energy might have influenced the headache at the same time.
It could have that. You know, I'm game for looking that up. I'll look that up. But it was a bit crazy. So yeah, no, it's for me. It's been just an interesting few days. And I was listening. I was listening to the news, and well, as I was putting my makeup on, Kevin has it on downstairs, and they were talking about, it must have been BBC, because they were talking about the COVID vaccinations here in Europe. It's not going so well. It really isn't going well.
I saw one person on Facebook today that said she went and showed up and the shipment hadn't arrived, that nobody got vaccinated where she went today. Sorry, go ahead.
No. And so, but for here in Europe, and the military, our US military, were a little bit different. Not that we're ahead of this. We are not ahead of the curve over here by any stretch of the imagination. I'll be lucky if I see my vaccination by my birthday in October. I'm like, this is crazy. But yeah, no, they were talking about how they've had to pull some of the vaccinations that they had approved here because of problems that that too many people are experiencing. So I'm just like, okay, this is interesting. And just as a side note, the ones that they're talking about are not the ones that are in the United States. They're the ones that are manufactured here in Europe. So I want to clarify that for any of our US participants, if they're asking that, if that's on their mind. This has zero to do with what's happening in the States.
Cool.
And completely what's happening here in Europe. And numbers are climbing in some areas again. So, and we've been on lockdown. Yep. We're still in lockdown.
Yeah.
We have, it's just reaching that point where we're just like, yeah, we're in lockdown. We're still in lockdown. I think so. When there will be a day, and I'll make a sign when I'm not in lockdown, and what's going to be showing up for me as 3 Crones is I'm not in lockdown because I'll be out.
Yeah. We will have landscaping behind us in every video afterwards. I get it.
I am just like, okay, this is so much fun.
That's awesome. Did you know that this week, I mean, you guys both already probably know that this week is the 1 year anniversary of when the lockdown started in
the majority of the US.
In the US,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the federal arm of the lockdown was declared a year ago this week. So that means a year ago next week was the beginning of the Corona Spotlight, which had me meet Joanne and interview her, which had her tell you, Krista, about me. And
No? No, is my friend Shiho, who I don't even know how you
I interviewed her
and Shiho
too.
know. Yeah, but you interviewed
Because of Joanne.
Shiho. Yeah, okay. So Shiho was the one who got me connected with you guys. So it's been, yeah, it is just the craziest thing.
So Shiho's our honorary woo-woo.
Yeah, Shiho Miranda. So Shiho was my neighbor in Virginia. And she and I were both attuned in with Reiki, or Reiki. We have the same Reiki master. We went through at different times, but we have the same Reiki master. So we're from the same lineage.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. And yeah, but she lived, and our daughters were in the same classes together. So yeah.
That's nice. Very cool.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's coming up around that anniversary again.
It is. It is. And so
we're still in lockdown.
In 4 days from now, will be my 1 year anniversary of leaving Washington State in lockdown.
Oh yes.
And we drove across country. And that was probably one of the most incredible experiences, because it was, we have driven across country before a couple of times, but never when it was so desolate.
Yeah.
There were nights that we were in hotels and we were the only people in the hotel.
Wow.
Nothing like little one-on-one.
Yeah. And everything was closed. It's like we had a room and we could get takeout food from local restaurants, but like the pool, we had one hotel we went to, because we were the only people there, they let us swim in the pool.
Okay.
So that was really nice of them. But yeah, otherwise the pool was closed. Yeah, it was really kind of an interesting experience.
I'll bet. As you're talking about it, it makes me remember the first few days after 9/11. And I can't even imagine what that memory is like for you, Joanne, but I remember the first, like 3 or 4 days right after, when they downed all the planes, being outside sounded different. I mean, and you didn't notice it until it was gone.
Yes.
But that eerie stillness, that quiet, where there was no planes in the air at all. And wow.
Well, that's similar to like with the pandemic as well, where there was, because by me at least, I have LaGuardia Airport, like, literally hands reach away from where I live, and I have Kennedy Airport, literally hand reach away from where I work. So in between the two, the air, the skies were very, very quiet for quite some time, to the point where it was like, wow. And the only thing we actually ever really heard throughout the pandemic specifically were the ambulance sirens. And we heard them all the time. It was like, oh my God, clockwork.
Yeah.
Clockwork.
Yeah.
And there was a little theory behind the ambulance service, which I will not share here on live because I don't think it's necessary to. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of jump into what we're talking about this week, if we may. First of all, let me just give a quick little shout out to our lovely sponsor, Sue, over at Class Act Imports. She is really getting in the role with us. She already had this week's Crystal of the Week. Already posted before the show today. So yay, I love it when a plan comes together. Beautifully done, Sue. For any of your crystal needs, please reach out to Sue first and foremost. If she does not have it, she will have someone in her network of people who can find it for you. So always follow the path of trust and reach out to Sue first. Awesome. All right, Miss Joanne, what have the stars got for us this week?
It's a boring week. No.
Okay. Then we can all go home.
They decided to stay where they're at. Not going to impact anybody or anything, right?
No one's moved.
There's no master numbers. There's no Mercury retrogrades. No.
Thank God.
So what's
Thank
going
God.
on? What is going on this week with our energies? Well, we're still in that same energy I think we spoke of last week, except it's slightly different, where we still have 4 planets in Pisces energy. And just in case anyone's kind of curious to why that is so damn important, why is it important that I'm sharing with you that we have 4 planets in Pisces? Well, to start off with, whatever sign we have multiple planets in is always important.
Mhm.
And when I speak of multiple planets, I mean more than 2, because most of the times we may have any sign in 2 planets that are given, and that would be the sun and the moon. But when we have, let's say, Jupiter and Saturn, or Mercury and Venus and Neptune, and I can go on and go on and go on, in the same sign for a period of time, whether that period of time is a week, 2.5 weeks, or even longer, then that has an impact and an influence on each and every one of us based on some sort of energetic response. So for those who are not aware, what Pisces energy is, it's the 12th house. It's the last astrological sign of the 12 signs. And it's a sign of, very simply because it's the last sign, it's a sign of endings. Things coming to an end, tying up loose ends, making sure you're completing the projects that you set out to do maybe in the last 6 months, let's say 2020 through now. You're completing those projects. And again, depending on where Pisces sits in everyone's chart. And it does, even if you don't have literally Pisces on your chart, we all have every sign in our chart at one point or another based on the house. And the only sign I'm going to actually be able to give you some indication to that, some information on, is Aries right now. And that's because Aries, Pisces sits in Aries' 12th house. And for all Aries out there, this is about endings. This is about your process of like closing the door to things that no longer serve. And even more importantly, before closing the door, declutter what you're closing the door on. So if you go to open it, everything's not going to fall on your face.
Yeah.
So this energy that we have in these 4 planets with Pisces is really a decluttering process for everybody. And when we think of the 4 planets, we have Venus, which is our planet of relationship, money, and love. We have Mercury now, that just went into Pisces on Monday, and that's our planet of communication. Then we have, of course, we have the sun, and the sun will be there for just until the end of this week, and then that's going to be moving over to Aries. And then we have Neptune, and Neptune is our planet of spiritual growth, which goes really well with Pisces, and it's actually its home. Neptune loves to be in Pisces energy because of the spiritual growth. So many of us, if not all of us, and I'm going to leave it at many of us, may actually be feeling as though our senses, meaning what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we feel, is becoming more heightened because Pisces energy is one of the most potent spiritual signs there is, where we tap into our spiritual gifts. So many of us might actually be feeling like, why is it I'm all of a sudden seeing shadows? Or why is it I'm hearing things when no one's around? Or why are my taste buds different than they were before?
Mm-hmm.
And why is it all of a sudden I'm smelling grandpa's cologne, and grandpa's been dead for 30 years?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so these are things that show up because of that Neptune and Pisces together. And who knows, maybe you might be experiencing that energy.
Yep.
So with those 4 planets in Pisces, I think that's a lot of energy itself, and we'll be in that until the end of this week. By Saturday, the sun is shifting over to Aries, and then we're going to also have some shifts going on shortly afterwards, a couple of weeks later, with other planets that are going to shift as well. But the good news is we don't have any retrogrades for a little while. I believe it's I think this is an 8-week cycle before
It's a
we
nine
retrograde.
week. It's a
9 weeks?
9-week cycle, so it's a complete cycle.
Thank
9
you.
weeks.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
9-week cycle of no retrogrades, which is great.
I don't know if I'm going to know how to deal with that. I'm really not.
Oh, yeah.
No, after last year, right?
I'm
Right.
glad you said that because, if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check. Is it Libras that's next or is it Gemini that's next? I don't remember, but one of those two signs are the ones that's going retrograde. I'll definitely get back.
What planet? The signs don't
I'm
go
sorry?
retrograde.
I'm sorry. Yes. Mercury.
Thank you. I know, I flip them around too a lot. So I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
yeah. Mercury's going to be going to retrograde in one of those two signs, either
Okay.
Gemini or Libra. And I don't have my notes in front of me to give you concrete facts here,
Gotcha.
but one of those two, and I will definitely post it on the group somewhere. One of those two, but I don't remember which one. I have a feeling it's Gemini, but I could be wrong.
Well, that'll be fun.
I always working. You know what? Now that I think about it, it is Gemini, because Gemini is May.
Yeah,
And
May, June.
Libra's October. So
September,
So
October.
Gemini, Mercury will go retrograde in Gemini energy. That will be a lot of fun. Can only imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
While you were
Yes.
talking about, multiple planets in one house or one sign, being significant, I'm like, I had to go to my little chart and check because my birth chart is completely lopsided. I've got like everything on one side and then two little things which are like the North Node and one planet in Aries or something. But I've got 4 in Virgo and 3 in Libra. So
Wow.
Can you imagine that kind of crowding for an entire lifetime?
Yes.
And they wonder why I'm crazy.
Yes, but you
Never
also
said
have-
that.
You also have some water signs too, because you got that double Scorpio.
Yeah.
And yes.
And that's in Neptune at that. So
Yes.
I bubbles.
Yeah,
I make bubbles. I make bubbles.
Yeah.
You're
So the big question, I guess, for Gayle would be is if she has any signs in well, you have Virgo, so so that answers that question. You have double Virgo, you said, right?
I have double Scorpio.
double Scorpio. I have
No,
Virgo.
what I mean by double Virgo, you mentioned that you have 2 planets sitting in Virgo.
No, I have 4 sitting in Virgo and 3 sitting in Libra.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I've got the Sun, Mercury, and Venus in Libra. So, I mean, it's like Libra for days. It's exalted. It's, just blasting, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I cannot do abstract art. I can't do abstract art. Anything that's not balanced makes me crazy. And then in Virgo, Which is
why you need balance in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it makes you crazy when you don't have balance.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And then in Virgo, I've got Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so in Virgo, I've got all the gods. I've got the god of war. I've got the god of gods. I've got it. Yeah, I got the god of death. What was Saturn? Neptune.
Yeah.
Saturn is all about structure and discipline.
Right. So I've got the Hierophant.
Yeah.
Right?
Quite
Right.
interesting. Yes.
Yep.
So this week, with all this energy in Pisces, it really is about just taking time, and specifically today because of the overall. When we look at the numbers, what's today? The 16th. When we look at that number in numerology, it's a 7 energy. So this is a really good day to quiet down and sort of reflect on those 4 planets in Pisces and see what shows up for every one of us. And because the overall energy of the day, when you add the numbers, it's a 6. So it's a really great day that when you do the reflecting, that there is something possibly you can heal from today, just today alone. So just imagine if you took the time out today, whether it's 5 minutes or you want to go spend a whole afternoon or night reflecting, just imagine what a different version of you will be tomorrow. Isn't that amazing?
I love it. I'm not sure Bill
I
can
like
keep
that.
up, but works for me.
It's not your job for him to keep up, darling.
No. Yeah.
There you go.
Except for that elastiband where I end up dragging.
Yeah, I just give them enough, give enough rope, and then they can decide whether or not they want to be up here or follow me. It's all up.
Exactly.
Go.
And if they want to be way, way back there, that's okay too. They'll catch up eventually.
They'll catch up eventually.
We'll get tired and we'll need to slow down just a little bit so that can happen. Because that's how it happens. We do get tired, so we have to slow our roll so they can sort of keep it up. Because that's the only way they catch up is when we slow down.
There you go.
That's it.
Anyway.
Exactly. Great way to look at that. So I have to add something about the whole shadow thing. So it's very interesting that you mentioned that, Joanne, because it seems like for the last 3 or 4 days, I have I'm like, oh, the veil is thin, because there is lots of movement going on. And I'm sensing a lot of different things from a lot of different areas. So I'm like, oh, that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And you also want to remind ourselves too, within a week, and because the three of us and those who are watching are very sensitive to energy, we are literally 1 week away from Aries energy. Aries is very different from Pisces energy, because Aries is the sign of action, movement, fire. We need to get things going, is the type of energy we're moving into, as opposed to the Pisces energy where it's like, all right, we're going to be dreaming here, and we're going to tap into our intuition and our psychic abilities, and everything is just beautiful. Now we got to get going.
Yeah.
Now's the time to get off the pot and move.
Very good analogy of especially manifesting, right? You're going to sit there, you're going to visualize it, you're going to dream about it, and then there comes time to get off your ass and go do something that's going to make it happen.
Exactly. Very, very true. Very true. So yes. And I think the crystal that we have coming in, that Krista's going to speak about, is going to be very helpful for all of us to do just that. So bring it in, Krista.
Perfect
timing.
Boom.
Boom. So the crystal of the week is Sodalite.
Nice.
So maybe. Oh, hold on. This one is a bit camera shy. It decided it didn't want. So this one is
beautiful.
I don't know why it's so camera shy, but this is Sodalite, and I actually have Sodalite earrings in. I'm going to take one out so you can see it. Okay, and I'll tell you, these are not from Class Act Imports. They're from my friend. She made them special for me. So
they were cheating.
They were gifties. Well, my box is arriving with a lot of goodies. I don't know what's in them yet. I just need to go to the post office and pick it up.
All right.
I hate when that happens.
I know, it's just the way it works. But Sodalite is a great crystal. And like Gayle said, it is really good for this particular week, because it really helps us tap into our own life path, right? It is one of those ones that helps us to open up our tuition. Yes, our tuition. Intuition. Yes, I'm, dreaming of paying for Genevieve's tuition.
Is that a Freudian?
Yeah, it might have been. Kevin said, if you get all A's, I pay for them. You know what that child does? She brings home the A's. I'm like,
of course she would. Why would she disappoint?
Because she's wicked smart. I'll tell you that one. In any case,
ladies and gentlemen, our weekly guest, Matt Damon.
Hey, I can do my Bostonian accent.
I
every now
love
and
your
again.
Bostonian accent. It was perfect.
My family may be going, ooh, but that's okay. And I mean my Bostonian family. Okay, so in any case, so I was putting on my glasses so I can read. This is a great stone, and I have a couple of things. If you're a Sag, this is a good stone for you. But it's really connected, of course, with our third eye and our intuition, right? So it helps us connect to the subconscious. We have a tendency to work fully from a conscious mindset, but really and truly what's in control, and this is a whole other conversation that we can have, is the subconscious, right? So our subconscious processes all kinds of information so much faster than our conscious mind does. And when you need to bring things from that subconscious more forward into your conscious mindset, what you want to make sure that you have in hand is a Sodalite, because it's going to help that process with ease, not necessarily, like a boulder hitting the head or a frying pan. You take your pick. But more, delicately, gently, like bringing that, like it's sifting its way up to the top. So it's bubbling in a cauldron. And, the information of what it is that you're deeply desiring to have happen or do or accomplish, what it is, the path, your journey that you need to take. We're talking about right now being the Pisces energy. It's all about tapping in to that, the soft stuff, the intuition. Whereas when we get into Aries, it's all about the action. Well, the cool thing too with working with Sodalite is it helps take that soft and it helps bring it forth into that actionable stage for you, because we do get stuck in it. We do sometimes. There are many. How many here? This is a great one. How many of you out there have a friend who is like a permanent student? Somebody who is always having to take a course, someone who is always, but they need degrees. They need certificates, they need all this, right? And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. This is not necessarily a bad thing. However, what they end up doing is they're in this perpetual circle of feeling like they can't move forward without something else. And a Sodalite really helps to move that forward. And Joanne, I know, girl, I get you. I wasn't thinking of you. I was thinking of actually other people.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, she claimed it before I pointed at her.
I know. And there you go.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
And
although now the studies that I have to do now are required studies for my certification.
I know. You keep doing that. And I'm like, going, I need to be doing that too. Damn it.
Yeah. Because they're going to come quick. They're going to come quick and I have to do it. So yeah.
My problem is there are things I need to get that I can't get because we can't have the classes in person, like CPR.
Yeah.
Now,
the little things.
They didn't change the requirements by you, because over here they changed the requirements of it.
Oh, I might have to look and see if I can do it over there. Yeah, no, ours are still.
Yeah, because at least here, what they're saying, at least for now, until everything goes back to whatever they're calling normal, all we need to do is actually take the test.
The test? Oh,
obviously,
cool.
No hands-on, so it's just a test.
Oh, good. Maybe I'll look it up and see if I can just do that. And if I can, then we'll be good. Wash my hands of it. Be done. Yeah. Then I can do the rest.
Yeah. And right. And maybe in some hope that, our organizations will just decide that, what, as trainers, we don't really need CPR.
I mean, honestly, the last time I've actually had to physically use it, it was never. But I'm happy to have it, and I've been doing it for years, whatever.
Exactly. Anyway.
any case, that's a conversation for a different day.
Yeah.
The other really cool thing about Sodalite, okay, so it is awesome for ADHD and ADD, and it's great for Asperger's. So if you have anybody in your life, young or older, because this goes across the board, this is not at all an age specific thing. Sodalite is a wonderful stone. And it's really great if you have it with like a zebra stone, which is a black and white, and I should have brought one up, or a snowflake obsidian, because that brings balance. And this helps to bring calm and calming the mind so that it is flowing in a process that they can understand, to articulate out. Like what I'm doing right now. Totally not what I'm doing. I'm like going, God, Krista, can you get this out any harder? You were talking about spewing on people? Yeah, that's
Right?
just what I did.
Yeah.
So there you go. So here is a great affirmation if you're working with Sodalite, and I do highly recommend it. Is my mind is fully awakened on all levels and working at its highest capability. Or you could say capacity. So there you go. I really like Sodalite. And just to clarify one other thing about between Sodalite and lapis lazuli, Sodalite does not have the gold flecks, which is pyrite, in it. All right, so it's a similar blue, and they both can have white in it. It's just that Sodalite does not have any gold flecks in it.
Yep.
So that's my take on Sodalite.
Fantastic.
You ladies have?
Thank you. Yes, can I share my friend?
Please share your friend. I love Sodalite.
Okay. This is my friend.
Look at you. You have an amazing, that's a great one. And I like that.
I was working at a very well-known name bank in a cubicle farm.
Fun.
And one of my teammates came by my desk and noticed how many crystals I had sitting out on my desk. And he's like, he says, you would love this one here. And gave it to me. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. And I have absolutely loved it ever since. And I asked him, because I didn't have my books with me to look it up or anything like that at the time. And I'm like, well, what is it? And he said, Sodalite. It's really good for, working with teams, which I thought was absolutely perfect. And from what you were just saying too, balance, calming yourself, those are very, very good aspects to be able to touch to when you're working with teams.
Yeah.
Especially me, that, if I'm not in control, I'm anxious, right? And if I am in control, I'm petrified. So either way.
Either way. Right?
way. Don't spit your coffee out.
You saw that, huh?
We're going to have a spit take, I'm sure, on this show at one point. Between one of us, we're going to just, that's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, no, Sodalite is an amazing stone to work with. And my kids, when they were younger, they each had one in their bowl. They each had a bowl I designed for them next to their beds. And the Sodalite I would find was one, especially for my boys, that they would put in their pocket on a regular basis and bring to school with them.
Nice.
That, and like Gregory gravitated to the snowflake obsidian. Zachary gravitated more to the zebra marble that we had. And Jen, I don't know if she ever really thought about what she picked up, but amethyst was usually her go-to.
Nice.
For everything.
Nice.
So yeah.
It's a good work-a-day stone, amethyst is.
It really is. And so, yeah. And so she used that and carried it with her quite a bit. And now she wears black tourmaline right now a lot. So to keep herself grounded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Well, hopefully that black tourmaline helped her her wisdom teeth when she had the blood clotting.
I was trying to get her to wear the damn Baltic amber.
Why was she not? I mean, that's just silly.
Because I suggested it. I
Oh.
should have called you guys and
Then
said,
let
well,
her
why don't you
suffer.
tell her? Because, I'm me, I'm mom. No. Yeah, no, she actually did wear it for a little while, but it at one point, anything just being, I think if she could have sat in the house naked, she probably is like anything touching her, when you get
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, she just didn't
Yeah.
like it. Yeah,
That
the
makes
medication
sense.
they had her on just had her nerve endings too high strung. But
Mm.
yeah, she just didn't need to be in any kind of pain either.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
absolute sense.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, let's take a look at what I'm supposed to talk about this week. I have no idea. Just kidding. I do. Working from joy. And that I picked working from joy because of course, Sodalite, but also from that experience that I had with my friend who actually gave me this, right? Because my experience working at this very, very large, internationally known bank in a cubicle farm was not an experience of working from joy. It just wasn't. It wasn't. It was a time to make the donuts, sludging in the last 30 seconds before you would be considered late, doing what you had to do, throwing all of that out, doing again according to new rules, throwing that out, going back to the way you originally had it, and then being told that the deal canceled anyway. Kind of job. Okay. It was horrible. And you just kind of like be proud of your ability to tolerate and suffer through it. And now it took me a number of years before I could get to a space where I could rotate out of that position and be done with it. And all along the way there, I never really learned the lesson of working from joy because I was just showing up to do a task that they paid me to do. How the old saying goes, giving just enough to not get fired, being paid just enough to not quit. Right. And it was that year after year. After I got out of that environment was when I started to actually experience what working from joy can actually provide for you. Now, those of you who follow Krista can see in her videos and her jokes and her, beautiful pictures that she puts up about these crystals, about how much fun she has doing all of this work. And yes, it can be frustrating. And yes, sometimes, Mercury gets into the computer and everything up. But for the most part, it's joyful. It's something that you want to do. Same thing with Joanne. When she's working with a client or she's doing videos with the tarot and showing people how these things impact your life, it's a labor of love. It is joy. There's no time to make the donuts about it. There's no slogging up to the time clock about it. They are like, get out of my face. I got work to do. I got stuff I got to, put together for people. Let's do this, right? And you can see the difference in the results. I'll give you another example. I was at the track this weekend with Bill and the family. Now, Bill's kids, he's got 2 boys and a girl. They're grown. All of them are grown. And the 2 boys that are grown still race motocross. So this past weekend, there was all 3 of the kids. The 2 boys were racing. Bill was there. I was there. Bill's ex-wife was there. My daughter was there. I mean, the whole family was there, right? And we were having a great time. And Bill's phone won't stop ringing. And every time he picks it up, it's a new job. It's a new job. It's a new job. He does a pool service, so it's a new pool to take care of. And this is happening. And he looks at me after the 3rd time his phone goes off, and he's like, "Hon, we really need to start traveling again, and doing, because it's a running joke. Every time we went out of town, he'd get a new client, right?" Mm-hmm. So we're at the track. The whole family's there. We're all having a blast. his phone won't stop ringing, and it's a new client after new client after new client. And like I said, he looks at me and he's like, we really need to travel again. And I said, no, you just need to have more fun. Yeah. Because money follows joy. Mm-hmm. And if you're working for yourself and you're doing stuff that's not joyful, you will suffer into poverty, through poverty, till the day you frickin' die. Find something that you find fun, that lights you up, that makes you glow to the point where everyone around you can't help but see you glow like Krista's Fitbit.
There you go. I'll take a photo for you.
Right? Wake people up in the middle of the night with your glow, right? But you can only do that working from joy. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to watch a grumpy Gus doing any kind of job. Well, except maybe Don Rickles.
Well, but even then.
But he was having fun insulting the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was.
But
yeah.
You get the point though, right? So do something, find something that lights you up. And if you have to absolutely do stuff that does not bring you joy, then your duty is to find a hobby that does. So that your joy can bond with that task you have to do because there are dirty jobs that need to get done, and lift you and those you love up from joy, right? From an abundance of joy. Awesome. So those are my words for the week. Go forth and be joyful, and let us know how it goes. I want to say thank you, first of all, before we go into this next session, for each of you who consistently come here week after week and watch this show and support our sponsors and laugh at our foibles and comment in the group and all of the things that you do that have given this show life. Thank you so very much. And we want to make sure that we say thank you as well to our weekly sponsor, Sue at Class Act Imports. Yes, she has Sodalite. We've already got one post that's showing some of her Sodalite collection. But if you also have not picked up any rose quartz from last week or green tourmaline from last week, make sure that you ask about those as well. We love Sue very, very much, and not just because she's Krista's mom. We love her for herself.
There you go. Yeah, she's pretty amazing all on her own.
Yeah, she is. She's a whole person even before Krista was born.
She was an entire person. Amazing.
Awesome stuff. Now, I want you to all listen up closely for a second, okay? Because we have a winner to announce from last week's drawing for our weekly giveaway, who liked, commented, and shared. And I have to beg your forgiveness because Sue told us that she was going to supply the prize for this week, and I did not reach out to her and go, what are you giving? I have no idea. So this is a surprise prize from Sue. And it goes out to, oops, where are you at? Could it be you, Michelle Lamb? It is you. So, Michelle Lamb, I would like you to please search through these comments down here. We will make sure that there's a post, and I will connect you with Sue Ward Paquin so that you can give her your snail mail address, and she can let you know what she is sending you as your weekly prize this week. We also have another prize to give away, and that was from the spur of the moment contest I threw together last week for those who would share out this group to invite people into it. And I will be honest, I was very disappointed. Not one person tagged people into this group. However, one person, unassociated with any of our current members, asked to join the group this week, so she's getting the prize. Okay. And this is the prize. I don't know if I can show you so well.
I can't see.
Can you see it at all? Okay, so it's in a frame, and what it is, I'm going to actually take it out of here to show you better because the plastic is being a little bit glarish. Ugh.
That's what happens with our lights, isn't it?
It is.
The lights, the camera, you know.
So this is a very special piece of quartz crystal. Okay, so it starts with an H, and I can't think of what it's called right now. But this redness that's in here is extremely powerful stuff. Okay, so I'm going to write out all of the properties of it and send it along with the gift. But Danita Tizard is our newest guest and our recipient of this prize this week. So Danita, I'm going to put a post out there as well. And you please reach out to me with your snail mail address so that I can get this beautiful little creature out to you. All right? And let you know how to use it. So thank you all for liking, commenting, and sharing this podcast. It helps us spread the word. And I'm going to give you all another chance if you want to tag people to join our group. So we'll do that again for the coming week. All right? All right, cool. And we just have a couple moments before we are done for the day, so I want to make sure that we thank our sponsors, Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing, myself, Gayle Nicholson with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting, and of course, Joanne Angel Barry Colon with Wholistic Fitness New York. All of this as well, hat tip to GayleNicholson.com. Make sure to let your friends and family know that you can watch us pretty much everywhere, or everywhere that's important to us these days. YouTube, Facebook, or on GayleNicholson.com. And we will have the replay posted up for you in no time at all today. Alrighty. So thank you once again from all of us here at the Three Crones and our sponsor, Sue. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a fantastic week ahead. Bye.